Good morning. The fog is rolling off the water on Herdman. It's quite beautiful. The bugs are buzzing, which is less beautiful. It was a pretty warm night last night. Slept on top of my sleeping bag. Henry had a great night. Laid right beside me. We just woke up at probably about 7:15 a.m. So we had 10 hours of sleep, and he was excellent in the tent. We don't have a very big day today. We're just going over into Little Koshan, but there are some things I'd like to check out. We're gonna try and find the old schoolhouse. Shouldn't be a very hard day. We can get to our next campsite relatively quick, but we want to save some time for some exploring.
Henry, come here.
Zooming. You're a good boy. That was your first night camping. Fantastic, I bet.
Well, we've had breakfast. The dog's done some ripping around. It's a nice day. Quite nice, actually. We had a good discussion about what we're going to do. I don't think we actually came to a conclusion what we're going to do, but I think we're heading north of Herdman, up a few portages to look for an old ranger cabin.
Henry's going to do his first Thunderbox review. Reasonably new. Fairly good condition. What do you think, Henry? I'll give it like a 6. Hey, a 6. Come on, boy. Come on. Want to get in? Go for a paddle? All right, come on, boy. Ready? Up. Good boy. So we're just leaving our campsite on Herdman. I took in a leave, so hopefully my shoulder and back stops barking. Just waiting for the lads to load up, and then we are off to West Corbo. You can see where Herdman ends here. So it goes into a small creek. I don't know the name of the creek. Maybe it's Herdman Creek. And then we have a series of a couple very small portages. I bet it's going to be very similar to what we dealt with to get into Herdman. We have to paddle all the way through West Corbo, which is a small lake with one campsite on it. And then the portage out of West Corbo is where we're hoping to see the ranger cabin.
Getting close to the where the creek empties into Herdman. We had really low water for a second. It's a bit deeper now. Looks like there's going to be some rocks and stuff, maybe some getting out of the boat and pulling over some stuff up here. We are on the P80, which I believe says, I'm gonna take a look at the sign here. Just says Herdman to Herdman, and it's in the Herdman Creek. And take you back over and look at this tree that's in our way. Might almost make sense to pull a saw out and just cut some branches off, but we'll try and break some first. And when I say we mean Ryan. Ryan and I spent 5 or 10 minutes on our blowdown clearing strategy. It's by no means perfect, but from what you could see before, it is at least passable now. You can get a boat up and over it. I think since this is only an 80, we're just going to two-hand carry it up and over. Looks like Evan took off, so we're gonna have to grab that orange bag and grab his paddle on the way through, and hopefully the rest of this 80 meter has no more adventurous moments.
80 meter portage. You can see just over there, but there's a heck of a lot of blowdown. So the guys are trying to clear that. While I'm waiting, I might just walk the boat up to the other end here. I just don't know what Henry wants to do. Do you want to come with me? Do you want to come? All right, you come with me. Hey, sit down.
We didn't get that on camera, unfortunately, but
2 cameras. I'm wearing one.
Oh,
one's on the back of the boat.
We do have it on camera. Evan taking a nosedive. Ow!
Ow! That hurt. That was a spicy meatball. That was a slippery rock.
Is that a horsefly or a bee or what is buzzing on me? The weird thing is, as a child, that would have made me lose my mind. Now I prefer it be a bee. Okay, so we're trying to skip that next portage and we're walking the boat up right now. It's more of the same of what we were just doing. Oh, you thought we'd get right through? Yeah. Still be the same pullover, just dang, I didn't bring my fishing rod. This could be a decent little fishing spot. So it took us 5 minutes and 14 seconds to come up that bit of river. I could see a sign right when we got past the top of it. That was the sign for the 165 meter portage. I can't remember what order the portages were in, but we've at least dodged a few by doing that lineup. So we've got, again, no map that shows us where we're going. Probably no phones with the Avenza maps on them because they're all in our bags that we left on the first portage. There's no chance of getting lost because we know exactly how to get back to where we came from. So we'll just bang around in here and try and see what we see. Going on adventures and we don't have a map. Even though Rich told the viewers we were gonna bring a map this time. But we didn't bring the map.
So I believe we are past the 3 portages. We're in a bit of a waggle through a creek here. That was a lot of excitement for Henry doing the dragging up the creek. He had never done that before. I don't think he understood what was going on there for a bit.
Me and my buddy Rye Guy.
How's it going?
Just finished that portage. And then we had to chase the dog all the way back to the end of the portage because he found himself a, I think it's a moose bone, maybe a deer bone. Anyway, that was apparently a 120 from Herdman Creek to West Corbo Lake. So this is looking into West Corbo Lake with Evan and Cheddar taking off. And yeah, I think that's a moose bone. But this isn't the one he had. There was 2 parts to it. Should have given him that bone to have in the boat. Maybe he would have quieted down for a second. Evan and the dog in front of us right now. We're trying to stay back in hopes that if he's not looking at us, that he's not whining as much. It kind of feels like he's whining because he wants to check out and see what Ryan and I are doing all the time. I still can't get over the trees growing out of these rock cliffs. I can barely grow a plant in a fertilized garden at my house. And out here, these huge trees growing nothing. It's been a pretty decent paddle up here. Again, we don't have our bags. We ditched them on the first portage. We're gonna get them on the way back. So it's made the portaging a bit of an easy. And this is honestly, it's a nice little area. There's nobody around. It's nice and quiet, other than the squeaking in the boat in front of us.
Pretty big beaver dam right at the top end of West Corbo. High water though, so we might be able to get through here. Almost. Almost, Henry.
Whoa.
Alright, so we're at the end of West Corbo. There's a nice little rapid here, a little swift. There were some ducks in the pond, and this is what we're coming to see. So it's an old ranger cabin. We'll try and get in and around it more, but it's right at the West Corbo to Stretch Lake portage. Apparently not much is known about this one, but it did not get the destruction order. They set fire to a lot of the interior cabins. I can't remember when, maybe 60s, 70s, but this cabin did not get burned. So it's quite old, no roof. We'll take a peek.
Because you would think most of these things, like once they're built, it's only a little bit of general maintenance that's needed to keep it standing upright. But as we all know, you let things go for only a short while and nature will start to reclaim it. And you can certainly see that here with the trees that are growing up through it, the moss that's getting on the logs. You can just see it deteriorating, and it won't be too long before this is like some of the other structures where it's just a note on a map that there used to be a structure here. Some odd bits of metal that you could find if you walk around, but that you wouldn't even be able to tell anything was ever here. Pretty interesting. We got more beer bottles on this trip. This time we got a stubby bottle. Probably not that old.
I caught a little brookie in this pond here. Then my rod got all tangled up, but there is fish in there. You can see them jumping occasionally.
Are you paddling extra good for the viewers?
No.
Come on, Ryan. Paddle extra good for us.
No, it's lazy paddle.
Paddle extra good.
No. I refuse. You're not my supervisor.
Never paddles extra good.
So this is paddling south on West Corbo, still in the northern part of it, and there's a really nice rock cliff. I'm gonna paddle close. See, I doubt there's any pictographs. Nothing's marked on anyone's maps, but it's very nice, very beautiful. Old King Henry was sleeping. You have a nice sleep across West Corbo? Good job, Henry.
Good job, Ryan.
Good job, Rich.
It was Henry's turn. He didn't say anything. Get that V! And then to the, try and say left of that big rock you can see, I think. we go. Ooh, I waggle us too quickly? Well, just because that current's going to try and pull you right into that rock. Yeah, oh shit! There's a rock. There you go. Found it. Yeah, and we hit a big rock that you can't really see from there. You want to stay, as long as you hit right in the V, you're going to be fine.
Exciting, I know. We're not getting out. We're not getting out. All right, we bypassed the first portage by walking it, and when I went to get in at the very end, I sat wrong on the seat, and we've got catastrophic seat failure. This bow seat on this Langford's been giving me a lot of trouble. I can't sit in the stern without any weight in the boat, so I'm gonna have to kneel and we'll figure it out, I guess, until we get back to Herdman. It's the last thing I need right now. Hey, Henry. It's not the first time we've been pooched by a Langford seat. We're back to the final carry into Herdman. I'm gonna see if I can run it or smash my way down. Hold on tight, Henry.
Like, if you walked up it, we should be able to go down.
Shallow. Yeah.
I think we want to go right. Sorry, Andrew.
So we made it back onto Herdman. We're on the north end. Our campsite is just around the corner. We've grabbed all our gear. So I'm now sitting in the stern seat with all of the gear in front of me, except for Ryan's backpack, to try and equal out the weight. I could still tell the bow is sitting up too high for my liking. So we're gonna do some lunch, feed Henry, and then we'll start making a decision on what we're gonna do the rest of this trip. I think we're gonna go into Little Koshan as planned, and we can always portage back to Laurel to Cedar and out if we don't want to keep going with a broken boat. All right, so we are at the Herdman campsite. Might look familiar. Henry likes it. He knows exactly where all the stuffs are. Our decision right now is that we are going to continue on permit to Little Koshan Lake. So we're going to portage out of Herdman into Laurel, portage into Little Koshan. Then we're going to maybe this evening pop over, try and find the schoolhouse that Ryan and I couldn't find years ago without GPS. Tomorrow we were planning on going into Carl Wilson. I don't think that's going to happen because as we sat cooking lunch, we've decided that we are going to leave tomorrow, wake up early, leave, get in the truck, go into Pembroke. It'll be my birthday and Ryan's birthday tomorrow. We'll hit a grocery store, get a cake, maybe some booze, who knows. And we're gonna go try and join the Knocks on Woods boys, Steve and Jaron. They're down at Lost Coin. So we've never been there. We're gonna find, I think it's Big Bissett Road. We'll try and meet them for their final night on their trip. Hopefully they're there. And we'll have a bit of a party, bring some cake, maybe a pizza, who knows. It's unfortunate that the boat seat broke. I'm actually really pissed off. That seat is broken 3 times now, but
yeah, they broke differently this time.
Yeah, every break's been different. I guess that's the silver lining, but Langford, why don't you hit me up?
We are back on the water again. So we got Evan loaded down with essentially every single piece of gear we have in the front of his boat, plus a dry bag full of water to try and get as much weight as we can to keep his nose down. We've got the dog in our boat, who I shouldn't say it right now, but thankfully so far is not whimpering and whining. We're headed down Herdman. We're gonna go to the right, which is to the west of the campsite that we stopped at yesterday at the lower end of Herdman, through a 130-meter portage into Laurel. There we go. That one took a while.
It's a hot day. It's like, it's got to be 25 degrees Celsius. Very sunny. Feels like a summer day. It's gorgeous. Feels really good to be in Algonquin Park. It does suck that we've had another boat failure, but we're getting pretty good at rolling with the punches.
We're coming through the Narrows. I've got my parrot on my shoulder right now. You say, Paul, you want a cracker? At least he's not whining at the moment. I wish he'd sit down for this beaver dam we're about to fly over.
Hold on, honey.
Sit. Probably like almost like a creek that's just choked out a bit. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. This is looking into Laurel from the Herdman Laurel Portage. If you're coming from Herdman, the first stretch of it is quite an incline, a lot of elevation change with a ton of janky rocks.
Good luck, fellas. Laurel Lake is awesome. Small little lake. There's the island there. That is basically just one big hill up to the Thunderbox. But every shoreline around here has a big tall peak. It's like the lake's in the middle of a crown. Very cool lake. We're approaching the last portage of the day, the 130, and you can hear a waterfall off to the left. The portage is right there, quite steep. Oh yeah, it's pretty nice.
The rope, sir.
Slightly. You can't knock it. You're not going again.
Yeah, don't send it with me because I don't have the speed to drop the boat and get him.
The P130 from Little Koshan into Laurel has one of the best put-ins of the trip. Look at that. Fantastic. Yeah, get in there, Henry. Have a drink. Get in there. And the railway bridge. So it passes from the south side of the lake back over to the north. And this portage is basically just straight uphill from Laurel into Little Koshan. It's not very long though, so it's definitely doable. Just waiting on the fellas to come. I'm on dog duty. Being this close to access lakes, we're starting to see more people, so we're trying to keep the dog on leash as much as possible. I can't stand when people's dogs run up to me on portages when I got under load. So I'm trying not to allow that to happen on this trip. The Algonquin unicorn.
Oh my god, that just killed my knee.
Wonder why you took the boat on this one. Ryan hoodwink you? There he is.
Rich. Oh, thank God. Where was it?
It was probably wrapped around your ankle. It was halfway up the trail.
Oh. Portage is finished. We are into Little Koshan, which starts out with a nice view of the rail bed, the old rail bridge, and it looks like we're gonna have to cross underneath it unless we want to carry up and over and around.
Our campsite we're eyeing is just down here to the right. Been a while since we came through here. It's crazy to me that this can hold up trains. Pretty crazy.
We're coming into the site on the north shore of Little Koshan. It backs onto the railway tracks. We're gonna stop in here and check it out. We're thinking that it could be potentially a nice spot to be able to take the dog for a walk along the railroad tracks. We're gonna see if there's room for a tent and a couple hammocks, and then it would also potentially let us try and walk the tracks all the way to the schoolhouse. Knock the whole boat in. Relax for a second.
Hey boy, Mr. Two. Come here. What do you think, boy? Is this gonna be home? There's a nice tent pad right here. This is probably where Henry and I will sleep. Where in the water?
I don't know. It was over here where I was standing. It was small, but
What was it, Rich?
a snake. God.
I think it was just a
I'm
stick.
just trying to live my best life and trying to murder me.
The way you jumped, I thought you like twisted your knee.
Right there.
Oh yeah, just a little guy. Oh my god.
It's like a worm.
I hate them so much.
It's so small. It's the smallest little snake.
Old bear bag Bryden.
Where's the dog?
Don't hit the dog. Ooh, hung it on the low part of the branch. I would have hung it in the nook. When you come into the site, you're greeted by a campsite with some benches, a big bunch of big trees. We've got it set up in such a way that to the right, Evan's got a tent pad with his tent on it. Over to the left, some trees where Ryan's got his hammock. A little bit further back is mine. And then straight dead ahead, you've got the Thunderbird band. Up the hill towards the railroad tracks. A tree that we've got the food bags hung in right now while we go for a bit of a hike. And then up in the top of this hill is the railroad tracks, and you've got to come across the railroad tracks, as you can see by this sign, to get to the Thunderbox. So far, I've got no complaints about the site. It seems pretty good. And then here is the rail bed. And we're gonna head for a walk that way. Evan's got his Avenza maps by Jeff, and we're off.
We're going for a walk down the tracks. It's going to be about a 3.5 kilometer walk. We're going to see the schoolhouse, hopefully, and then we'll be coming right back, kind of collecting wood as we get close to camp. I'm bringing my phone. I got the Maps by Jeff on it, Avenza app, so we will know when we're close. I think it's just off the track, so it should be pretty easy to find.
A little marker here of some sort.
We're at the Little Koshan to Loxley Lake Portage, and we saw the peak of a house. We actually it sounds like a generator running. Yeah, somebody's got a fairly big house here.
That building looks quite old right there. Sparked our interest was the sound of a generator, which is not normal out here. Oh, a little robin's egg. There's something off down here to the left that I just spotted. I don't know exactly what it is. Looks like we found an old well, and we found this big clearing, and we're right around the area that says the old Daventry train station. So this is very well, could have been where it sat. We don't know that for fact, but it appears that usually when we see a clearing like this, there was something here, and the fact that there's that well further indicates that it probably was. Oh, this nice beach though, for you.
There's a dock to the right.
Yeah, I don't think that's historical though. Okay, so we got off the rail bed onto a little driveway dirt road. There's a white marker on a tree, very hard to see, and in behind it is what we are 98% sure is the old schoolhouse, which I'm guessing this was probably a little bit more cleared out at one point in time. Grown up around it, it's in rough shape. My thing on this trip, I guess, is old cans. Tomato juice. Hey, my second Pepsi can of the trip. Clean, burning, and clogging safe lantern oil.
It's in pretty rough shape, which is too bad. I wonder if we would have got here 8 years ago if the roof was still on. Tour de Park's website shows that there was an old, like 1950s, I think, train schedule, which with the roof falling down, I don't know where that would be, but it's too bad that a nice relic like that is likely gone forever. Love the history in Algonquin Park. I gotta try and get out of here. We'll walk back, have a fire, have a couple beverages, and enjoy our evening. Crazy to think that probably 80, 100 years ago, kids were going to school here.
Found this big old nut. It's nuts, all the stuff that we found on this trip. Oh my God, I missed my second freak out of the trip because there's another friggin' snake slithering around over here. Look at that gross little bugger. Should've let the dog after him. Third of the way back, finally found a actual railway spike. Found one that was kind of some sort of spike earlier, but it wasn't a proper railway spike, so pretty neat. Gonna leave it behind for somebody else to find, but again, it's a cool piece. Just got back from our big long walk. The bugs are wild here. Didn't have too many bugs the whole time we were on our walk. Came back into camp. They must know people come here and they just hang out and wait. It's insane.
King Henry's quite tired. We got a fire going pretty quick to keep the bugs down. They're horrendous tonight. There is zero wind, as you can see. Makes for a gorgeous lake, but black flies, mosquitoes, they're out. But you got a nice fire going, throwing off a lot of heat. Bugs are gone. Where'd you get this recipe, Richard?
Just something that I kind of chefed up on my own with a little help from Hamburger Helper.
The internet.
Even with the toque, I gotta play with it.
Ugh, bugs.
Got some iGoo in here, I think. What do you got, Ryan, for time?
Just turning it on now.
Ryan's just turned his phone on, so we gotta wait. What's the word? A clock oracle? I'm a clock wizard. It's the worst type of wizard. The old clock wizard.
He's getting a lot more bold in the boat. He's got a real Titanic moment going on.
He's a resident woodsman, logger, timbersmith, tree aficionado.
Tree wizard?
Tree wizard. The worst kind of wizard.
Henry Cam.
I know. Telling you guys lots of lies this trip. Told you we were gonna have a map. Don't have a map. Told you we weren't gonna stay on that site last night. Stayed on the site last night. What else did I lie about?
Being a time wizard.
Told you guys I was a time wizard.
Clock wizard.
And I was a time wizard. I was a time wizard. That's not a lie. All right, well, I should find a couple ways to make this video a little bit longer, so if Evan's editing, he's got to watch the whole thing. How's that, Betty? Editing going, bud? You enjoying it?
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Evan in the future when he's editing this video.
Hi, future Evan.
What's up, future Evan? Who's now present Evan? Whew. You know what that is?
Evan's
That's some time wizardry. Evanception.
Hope you find your father. Bye.
Ryan said I did a perfect job. That not only am I the time wizard, but I'm the video recording wizard. I don't think I've sang any songs for you guys on this trip yet. But it's not as good if I just do it for you now, so maybe we'll catch something on camera later. Ryan paddling footage. Try and edit out the so's.
So,
Give me less so's.
Rich says I start a lot of videos with so. Anyway, we made a decision.
What do we make for a decision?
Our decision.
Hibbity helmet. It's like, my body hurts. There's too many snakes. Well, you're not wrong. There are too many snakes and my body does hurt.
So, no. So we're going for a walk down the tracks here.
Stop.
Should be about.
Can you just say we're going for a walk?
We are going for a walk.
Yeah, without the so part.
So, we're going for a walk.
Like, give us a Thunderbird or something. Nobody? Take it easy, my friends, but in the future, who are now in the present. Craziness. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording.